What's going on, YouTube? It's Mixtape, and I got a video for you guys. Something I think that you guys will like. Go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below what you guys think about possibly Bradley Beal being traded from the Wizards. And I'm going to talk more about the Lakers than anything, being the Lakers are my favorite team. So you guys can comment down below and let me know you guys' opinion on that, possibly him being a Laker or even other teams. You know, there's going to be a number of teams that's going to be wanting him to, come to their team, and whether it be to give them a possible chance at a title or even strengthen their chance to get a title. So the possibilities are endless with it, but me being a Lakers fan, I kind of want to touch on him possibly being a Laker. And so, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Him becoming a Laker would be awesome, and the competition that you would have for possibly 2 years with the Nets, with them having Harden and Kyrie and Durant, that would be crazy. So right now I'm just looking at the lineups, trying to make them as even as possible. And once I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the game and talk a little bit more in depth on my opinion on how it could work and what possibly the trade package may be. So again, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below your initial thoughts. All right, you guys. So as you guys can see, I brought them out to the blacktop, a 3-on-3 setup, and made the teams as even as possible, having Harden guard LeBron, having Anthony Davis on Durant, and having Beal on Kyrie, to try and give it somewhat of a fairness, have length for length and playmaking on playmaking, and just not give nobody a clear advantage. But let's dive into the topic. So my reason for making this video, of course, just like most others, is Bradley Beal doesn't look too happy with his situation in Washington. And that possibly could be because they're losing. Maybe it's he wanted to go, seeing that Westbrook really isn't helping the situation out much. To be just dead honest, I think Bill has been in a bad situation, honestly, probably for the last 3 years. Waller had been getting hurt left and right, and that sucks because Waller is such a great player. But I mean, the Wizards really haven't had much to compete with. And, Bradley Beal has slowly but surely developed himself and his game in order to, maximize himself for the Wizards. And they really haven't been able to make much of his gains. I mean, there hasn't been no playoff appearances for him. I think he's only made it one time when they lost out to Boston, when Boston had Isaiah Thomas. I mean, but other than that, Washington hasn't really been good. So I think there could be a trade that happens, and I would honestly love to see him in a purple and gold. Why I labeled the Lakers to be the trade would be because I remember on one of the interviews for Rob Pelinka in the summer, he was talking about getting another star to align up with Anthony Davis throughout his tenure. And seeing that might open the possibility for Bradley Beal to be the guy. I mean, there's other guys that it could be. He could be looking at somebody like a Victor Oladipo, who's going to become a free agent after this season, if I'm correct. Even Zach LaVine, a little bit younger of a guy, but who can also score and make it happen. So, I mean, it's not just Bradley Beal. I just think that Bradley Beal would be the better fit because of what he can do, and he's a little bit more mature. So I think that he'll fit ideally, and I think that honestly he's probably going to be more than likely the next guy that's going to request that trade. I mean, you don't know because he hasn't said nothing, and he seemed to be, for the most part, loyal. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he did request it. So I'm going to talk about now, what the Lakers could trade. And it may not be the best fit. Maybe there's better trades out there. But I think that you could realistically trade Kuz next year once his salary goes up for the extension that he just signed. You can trade Kuz. You can trade KCP. Possibly Caruso. Maybe Montrez. Or maybe if they don't like that package, you can go in with maybe a Schroeder and Caruso, or THT and Montrez. Somewhat of that. They're not going to be able to take all of the players. So you'll still have somewhat of depth, whether you keep Schroeder or Montrez to fit in. And then maybe you give them a top pick or two, like 2 first-round picks, or maybe 1 first-round pick. I don't know. Any of those options are available. And I honestly don't think that that's a terrible pick. Maybe they might be intrigued on a THT because he's so young and he's shown a lot of promise already. Maybe they might want somebody like a Caruso and Montrez, or somebody that can kind of help Russell Westbrook out currently, because I don't think Russell will be leaving anytime soon. So, I mean, it all depends on what they want and if they would want to trade him. I mean, this is all speculation. I believe he still has 3 more years on his contract, so they may not want to trade him at all. But in the meantime, I think that any of those trades, whether you want to trade Montrez or Schroeder, you keep one of them for sure. You trade away some more picks, and then you would trade away KCP and Kuz for sure, because those will be, the ones that'll pretty much bring the money to close to the area that you're looking at it for. With you trading away some of those picks and players, LA would legit have 3, I want to say super. I don't know if Bradley Beal's a superstar, but you'll definitely have 3 stars, and it would definitely fit into Rob Pelinka's timeline for that, being that he said that he wanted to have another young star to pair up with Anthony Davis. As you know, Anthony Davis is 27 and Bradley Beal is 27. So it's a possibility. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not saying it being for sure, but it's definitely a nice possibility, and I would love to see it happen as a Laker fan. I do love the depth that they have, but I wouldn't be mad if they was to decide to make that trade. Everybody knows, not only me as a Laker fan, but if you're a fan of basketball, you know that the Lakers make these trades in order to get championships and do stuff like that. And at first, I wanted Anthony Davis, but I did want to keep Ingram. But seeing how things worked out, I believe that Rob Pelinka knows what to do in order to make it happen. So I have faith that whatever was to happen, that my team would be pretty successful as long as there's no injuries or nothing like that. I believe that it could work. And man, just imagine that team. You'll have somebody like a Bradley Beal that can play off ball, or you could put the ball in his hands. And the pick and roll with him and Anthony Davis will be crazy too, because Bradley Beal can shoot. He's a really good shooter, and he can play off ball for LeBron pick and rolls. I mean, there's just so many more options that you can do with him being the leading scorer in the league right now. So, again, I honestly don't think that it would happen. If it was to happen, I think it would happen closer to the summer of, after the season is done. But that's just my 2 cents on it. I would love to see it happen. There's a possibility he could go to the Heat. Who knows what Miami would be willing to give up, as well as picks and players. I'm sure that Miami would definitely try and throw their name in there. Maybe the Bucks. I think that they would probably do better than they are right now. And I like Drew Holiday, but I don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to help them really make that big push that they're looking for in the playoffs. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on Bradley Beal possibly being moved. I think he's a great player, and again, I would love to see him as a Laker. Maybe even the Clippers might try and get him. I don't know. My opinion on this is that with Harden, Irving, and Durant all being together on a team, I definitely think one team will try and go star power on star power with that team. And who knows, maybe it's the Lakers, or maybe it's another team that we don't suspect. I mean, the Pelicans could possibly do it. They have a lot of picks coming from the trades of Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis, so they may actually have more of a situation where they have more picks, where the Wizards might do like the Thunder and want those picks. I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But I just don't see, a star going on to be a superstar wanting to be in a situation like him where his team is already bad, but I mean, he's doing everything he can in his position to score. And I mean, whenever he's off the floor, the team goes terrible and they're not winning much games. I just think that it's time for a clean slate for him to get out of Washington. So we'll see how it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just me kind of experimenting with the team if he was to become a Laker again. Let me know you guys' opinion on it. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. If you're new, please subscribe and like the video. It's going to help grow the channel again. This is Mixtape. I'm out, you guys. Peace out.